There's something huge happening in medicine right now, but it's happening so quietly that most of us are missing it. A piece of the puzzle that's been at the very heart of clinical care for more than 100 years is just vanishing.
Yep, that's really the heart of it. A silent revolution, you could say. It's being driven by AI and automation, and it is completely rewriting one of the most fundamental parts of being a doctor. And this isn't science fiction, it's happening right now. So, to really get why this is such a big deal, we have to talk about what the medical note actually is. It's so much more than just a record. It's the doctor's thinking, right there on the page. It's a legal document. It's how hospitals get paid. It's everything. So what on earth does it mean when it starts to disappear?
So what's making it vanish? Well, it's these tools you've probably heard about. Things like ambient transcription, which basically listens in on a doctor-patient conversation, and then AI that summarizes the whole thing in real time. The physician's role is slowly but surely shifting from being the author of the note to just its editor.
But let's be really clear here. This isn't just about making a doctor's life a little easier, like a fancier version of Microsoft Word. No. This is a massive technological leap called abstraction. That's when a really complex manual process gets totally replaced by a smarter, more automated tool. And this is where it gets really interesting, because we've actually seen this movie before in medicine. The good old stethoscope gave way to the incredibly detailed echocardiogram. Reading an X-ray by eye was supercharged by CT scans. See the pattern? Each time technology abstracts away the old method. And manual documentation? It's simply the next thing on the list.
Okay, so why now, and why does this feel so, unstoppable? It really boils down to three powerful forces all hitting at the exact same time. We're talking economic pressure, cognitive pressure, and the fact that the tech is finally ready.
First up, you gotta follow the money. We're talking billions with a B of dollars lost by hospitals every single year. Why? Because of notes that are incomplete, or not coded correctly, or just inconsistent. So for a hospital administrator, automation isn't some risky bet. It's a solution with a crystal clear return on investment. And then there's the human cost. Just look at this. Doctors can spend up to half their day, just on paperwork. It's a massive driver of burnout, and frankly, it's a terrible use of an expert's time. Pretty much nobody thinks this can go on.
And here's the kicker. The final piece of the puzzle is that the technology is finally good enough. It's not a dream anymore. We now have the whole pipeline, from incredible speech to text, to AI that can summarize a clinical visit, to models that structure all that data, and finally, systems that automate the billing. The whole shebang. What was once just an idea is now a reality.
Okay, so what does this new world actually look like for a doctor on the ground? Well, the entire workflow is basically becoming invisible. It's automatic, it's ambient, and this shift from being the author to just being the editor, it creates a completely different reality.
The difference here is just night and day, right? The old way was all about keyboards, dictaphones, maybe a human scribe if you were lucky, and of course, that dreaded pajama time. Catching up on notes late into the night. The new workflow? Just talk to your patient. That's it. The AI does the heavy lifting in the background. And you can really see this evolution happening in stages. A doctor went from being the creator, writing the note from a blank page, to a reviewer, checking a human's work, and now to just a confirmer, giving a thumbs up to an AI summary. The final step? Becoming an overseer of the whole automated system. Another step removed from actually writing. Okay, but a change this big is never a one-way street, right? It's not all sunshine and roses. We have to be honest about the trade-offs. We need to talk about what we gain from all this incredible efficiency, and just as important, what we might be losing along the way. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because the benefits are obvious, they're powerful, but the costs, well, they can be a lot more subtle, and maybe, just maybe, they're just as significant.
So let's start with the wins, because they are huge. Doctors can finally put their full attention on the patient, actually listening, observing, counseling, building that trust. The notes themselves get better, more consistent, billing gets more accurate, and, maybe the biggest win of all, we can start to do something about the epidemic of physician burnout.
But on the flip side, what do we lose? Well, for one, the unique narrative voice of the doctor, where you can see their thought process. That risks getting flattened, standardized. Those subtle skills in crafting a diagnosis and telling a patient's story, those could start to fade.
And then there's a really sneaky danger, automation bias. That's when you start to overtrust a note just because it looks perfect, even if it's got a critical error hidden inside.
So where does this all leave the doctor of the future? Look, this is not a story about doctors being replaced. Not at all. It's a story of evolution. The role isn't being downgraded. It's being upgraded into something totally new. The physician as an architect.
And this really breaks down that identity shift perfectly. Instead of being a human transcription engine or a glorified data clerk, the physician becomes a clinical orchestrator. They're the ones directing the systems, they're the guardian of medical nuance, and they are the final auditor of the AI's work. They manage the tech, instead of the tech managing them. Which brings us to a really powerful idea, a major takeaway. The ground is shifting under our feet. To survive, to thrive in this new world, understanding the technology is no longer optional. You could even say that technical literacy is becoming the new clinical literacy.
So what does that look like in the real world? It means doctors need to understand how these AI models messed up, how they hallucinate. They need to know how to spot errors, how to audit the AI's paperwork, and how to work with the tech companies that are building these tools. This isn't optional anymore. This is the new survival skill set.
You know, there's a quote from the source material that just nails it. This is not the end for doctors. Far from it. This is about documentation finally serving the clinician, instead of the clinician serving the documentation. The physician isn't going anywhere. They're just evolving into something new.
So this is where we land. This change isn't coming, it's here. The note is disappearing, and the physician is becoming a clinical architect, an overseer of these incredibly intelligent systems. And that is an amazing upgrade for the profession. So the only real question left is, are they ready for it?